like that?
Take the top off.
Pod with the top off?
I'll definitely do that. I'll give that a shot.
Dude, I gotta bring up some shit. Some fat chick wants to smash.
Then fuck her. How fat we talking here?
Let's actually unpack this, all right?
Let's get a body fat percentage. Like, let's say that you're about 10, 6, you're between 6 and 10% body fat, right?
I'm definitely probably that. Guys, for the since this is not a video podcast, I am a skinny man.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm like a 5'10", blunt looking
right, blunt.
male.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This chick, she's a big one, bro.
Guess her height.
She told me.
What's her height?
She's 5'5".
5'5". Okay, like how much does she weigh in your opinion? Like, what would you guess?
Daz, I don't want to be mean, dog.
Don't be. You don't have to. You're stating a fact. These are facts.
If I had to guess, bro.
If you got to guess.
Maybe like the 290 up.
Okay, you're fucking wild. You're fucking wild, bro.
Hold up. She could be a little less, but I didn't know she was.
You said 2? Bro, that's more, bro.
She could be like 250, 240.
Yeah, bro.
Let me get to it, dog. I was on a dating app.
Unless she's like Arnold Schwarzenegger, swole, like there's no...
I was on a dating app, and the thing is, she didn't look that fat on the pics.
That's what they always do that.
They always they're good at that, dude.
They're fucking brutal with that stuff.
They're very good.
My
now,
God.
before I actually show you some pics of her,
yeah,
I didn't know. I was like on the app, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then she she had sent me some like titty pics or some shit.
Yeah.
And some
How did the titties look?
They were alright.
Did they look like fat titties or did they look like titties? You know what I mean? Because when they look like fat titties, it looks like something that a really obese guy could have, you know?
They're alright, though. They're cool, though. But whatever. My point is, let's just get to the pics. Are you ready, Doug?
Yeah.
I don't think I could do it, Doug. And the thing is, I feel bad.
I don't think I can do it.
The thing is, I feel bad now.
It's a fucking challenge.
Hold up. Where is it? Oh, it's not this chick.
I know how you feel, by the way. You know I know how you feel. You know the experience I've had, bro. It's brutal out there, man. When a fat chick wants to fuck.
Dude, in high school, that fat chick did want to smash you.
That was brutal.
Yo, she was on you, bro.
I'm sorry, bro. I don't want to talk about it. I just don't.
I know. I was there to see. Dude, what's the fucking number? Oh, look. Okay. All right, dog.
You're whipping out some tit pics.
No, bro. I'm not showing her nudes. Relax. I'm going to show her the... All right, dog. You ready?
Yeah.
That's probably like her best pic that she sent me.
I got to see the other side. Because from the back, it looks like I'd break that. I'd dislocate that, yeah.
Yeah? You on that?
I'd pound that shit, yeah.
You're a bigger gentleman, though.
I'm a bigger gentleman, yeah.
You could take that.
Yeah, I'd fucking straight.
I might have to just pass her to you, then.
You might have to pass, yeah.
I'm not against that.
Hey, listen, it's a sport. And
look, you see the pics?
I see the pics, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro.
There's no reason not to.
I don't know, Ape.
I think you're wild for guessing 290, bro.
That was fucked up?
Yeah, that's not 290. There's
How
no
would I
way.
show you a better pic now?
Yeah, show me a better pic. I mean, it's something to stick your dick in. You know, that's how I feel.
That's just horny shit, you know what I mean?
That's
like,
something to stick your dick in,
That's
bro.
horny shit. I was probably just like a little horny.
Why?
No, I'm not saying it's nothing wrong with hollering at fat chicks, but like, I don't know, man. I don't think I could take that, bro.
I think you could take that, bro.
Listen, I could take it. I just don't want to take it.
You got to believe in yourself, you know?
Bro, there's only so many positions we can do.
There's a lot.
No, there's I mean there's not that many because of the...
Oh, no, there's a lot. Trust me.
The weight difference.
The skinny dude to fat chick dynamic is excellent. Trust me.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
She could just like pick me up.
She can't pick you up.
She definitely could pick me up.
She can't pick you up.
She definitely could pick me up, dog.
No.
You don't think she could pick me up when I just showed you her pics?
You could take her. You could beat the fuck out of her, bro. I'm telling you.
I can't pick her up.
You beat the shit out of her in a fight, bro. A one-on-one, bro, you'll fuck her up. Trust me.
I mean, that's different, though.
Listen, when it's sex, it's like wrestling, bro. You know what I'm saying? When you're going in there, when you're
she could body slam me. No cap.
Nah.
She could.
Nah.
What you mean no? She could definitely pick me up.
I'm just saying there are a lot of positions you could get in with her.
There's actually some really wild positions, bro.
Yeah, the creativity behind sex is amazing.
Like what's the GOAT position? Keep it a buck.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I think people as much as people shit on it, missionary, and I don't give a fuck what they say about that. I don't give a fuck. Me on top, yeah.
Do you like it when she's on top?
It's more boring for me when she's on top.
Which one's that one called? Is that cowgirl?
Yeah.
Or that's missionary too?
That's cowgirl, and then there's if she turns around, it's reverse cowgirl or whatever.
Dude, I hate that one. I hate cowgirl reverse.
What the fuck is the point of that one?
For some reason, and it never works with me.
No, I just don't. I mean, I'd rather hit it from the back and just me be the one pounding that shit. Because let me tell you, bro, I have very strong leg muscles, right? And so when I'm in a squatting position and she's there,
okay,
right, I just fucking grab her,
yeah,
right,
viciously,
grab her right there, and I just fucking like lift my fucking my goddamn thighs up, back down, and it's like a rabbit. I'm fucking her like a fucking rabbit, and the speed that you get there, bro. There's no other position I can fuck that fast in.
Well, yeah.
And it's beautiful. It's fucking beautiful.
I think the GOAT position, honestly, might just have to be doggy.
I mean, but there's so many transitions you can make there, you know? It's like, even in missionary.
Doggy style and making out with her, that's GOAT.
Doggy style making out with her is beautiful.
That might make me actually bust.
Yeah. No, that'll definitely, yeah.
I'm like that. Yeah. I've done it before, and
it's fucking life-changing.
That is the go-to.
Yeah. Bruh.
Real shit.
All right,
Yo, guys, welcome to another episode of V N APE.
Jesus Christ, that was a long...
That's how we do it here.
Yeah.
We're literally located in the dirty streets.
We're in Little Havana.
Of Lil fucking Havana.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, shit. It's
but yeah, guys.
People trapping right next to us.
There are literally some folks out here just...
Jesus Christ.
Just thugging it out, selling the drugs, you know, we out here on the...
Let's get to the real shit that we got. We got to stop fucking around with these people, bro. These people are
We actually have a guest coming soon. We'll be soon, but for now, it's just V N APE. Let's go.
Yeah.
What you got, Abe?
Yeah.
Bring the sauce. No homo.
All right. Now, let's start with just the basics here, okay? Let's start with this.
What do you want to talk about,
There was a Miss Universe contest, right? We all saw that. Some of us might not have seen it because we don't have Twitter and we don't give a fuck.
A lot of them.
And that's fair. That's a fair reason to not be very interested in this. But what you're about to hear might pique your interest a little bit, right? Because what happened is that the person who ended up buying the Miss Universe contest, she is she's a chick with a dick.
Yeah, it's biologically it's a dude who turned trans.
It's a
trans female.
It's a trans woman, right? And she says the word woman with the
Play the clip,
with
bro.
the manliest voice I've ever heard. Folks, listen to this.
Our feminism. The Miss Universe organization from now on is gonna be ran by women.
Owned by women.
This shit is amazing. This is a chick with a dick who bought the entire company, right? And or whatever the fuck it is. Organization.
Sure.
Whatever.
Corporation.
Whatever. And apparently now...
she wanted to get her shit off.
She says it's run by women now.
Real shit, dog. She wanted to get her shit off. She wanted to let them know, like, yo, what's up?
Okay.
It's ran by fucking women now, alright? And y'all ain't gonna do shit about it.
I definitely don't feel that way.
Nah, honestly though, like, I just thought that was just comedy.
I feel like that's the death of institutions, what we're witnessing right now. Like, if you're seeing, you know, biological men compete in female sports, if you're seeing, you know, biological men discussing how other biological men can go into female beauty pageants, I mean, you're talking about basically the death of the most basic idea in the world, which is the distinction between a man and a woman, which is a biological distinction, no matter how much makeup people put on our culture and try to disguise that fact.
I mean, I feel like it's such a dead topic. Like, I feel like
It's that we're getting the most mundane facts that people have always
Knew.
understood, taken for granted, and we're distorting reality to such a degree that people just don't comprehend it anymore. People are really willing to put that aside, and I understand that people have that capacity because religion does that, right? Religion can make a dude blow up a fucking tower
have that extreme faith for
Because he
anything.
yeah.
Shit, is that a bee?
because he thinks there's going to be 72 virgins or some shit on the other side.
Yo, this motherfucker better not get in here, bro.
Bro, why are you scared of that little shit?
What? That shit will sting the fuck out of you. Not a big bee
Listen,
fan.
all right, folks, I'm just covering that sort of information.
I actually have something. Did you see that Facebook and Instagram are lifting bans from naked breasts only from trans and non-binary?
I heard about that. Is it true?
That's 100% true.
Man, that is wild.
Out of all things that they could have done,
You can only show your breast if you're trans. Holy shit.
like I wanted to see the actual. We want to see the woman tatas, bro.
So you can only see the tits of a chick with a dick.
And the other way around too. It is a dude who fucking a chick with a dick. Yeah,
So like Elliot Page.
exactly.
Elliot Page, right? Yeah. Hero, brave and stunning. I feel like that's an amazing subject because I really do think that it's being pushed so fast on society that a lot of people just really are not able.
They brush it off.
They brush it off, but a lot of them like they try to ignore it. And
100%.
It's like this is not gonna. It's not gonna go away. Like this.
And if you do say something about it, you're a bigot. You're this. You're that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of fear of that, but people
People will lose money.
are a lot of people are in a complete understanding of the fact that this makes no sense, the way that society is moving culturally, and the morality that we're sort of promoting and then rejecting. We're pushing collectivism.
What's collectivism?
Where the group is more important than the individual, right? Where the individual is not the most important thing in society.
That's dying soon.
When it's the group. And I feel like that idea of the group, I mean, that's what leads to these you saw that. Look, Nazism was a collectivistic ideology, right? Communism is a collectivistic ideology. All of these ideologies where groups sacrifice themselves for what some political force, some cultural behemoth considers to be
some type of like cult.
The greater good. Yeah, it's a political cult, really.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at how much Hitler was into the occult.
Jim Jones.
It's Jim Jones shit. It really is.
He's just if it won't work if it'll only work if everybody drinks the Kool-Aid, like type shit. That was like a quote he said or some shit.
It's ridiculous. I mean, you saw, and he had kids murdering kids there, forcing them to literally drink that Kool-Aid and die. And you saw that at a societal level. And listen, back in the Nazi era, right? You saw things like the Hitler Youth, for example. Right?
I remember them, yeah.
And the Hitler Youth, of course, it's young kids that are training to be
groomed, pretty much.
They're basically being groomed to
think of this whole Nazi thing. Nazis are the greatest. This and that. Yeah.
And they had this one role. Remember, they're eugenicists.
Right.
And they love this idea of the role of the woman and the man being in separate units, but each of them having to be very fit. Because apparently people like Hitler thought the Aryan mind was already the best mind. We were already the most intelligent creature out of all the races that exist. And so he thought what they needed to do is to increase their physical abilities to be as fit as possible. He cared more about that than them like learning, like their actual education.
Yeah.
Right. So he thought we have to get them to be the most fit people on the planet. And then he wanted to create this sort of man who was a military man, purely. He had no identity outside of that military, and that's all he did. Right? These are the type of people he wanted to create.
Jesus Christ. Just brainwashing shit.
It's basically MK Ultra shit.
Just do this, do that.
Yeah.
My boy's calling me. Yo,
I think I'm here. It's before the stop sign or after the stop sign?
All right, dollar, bro. All right, we'll cut that off. But what you were saying exactly? You were talking about Nazi, him wanting to create the military man, the Hitler Youth.
Yeah, his whole thing. I mean, it's eugenics, so you want to have the most physically fit people so they can spread the best genes and create the perfect so-called race.
I was gonna say, fucking. Eventually, there's gonna be no white people. Apparently, there's gonna be just a mix of brown people and just people that are just mixed.
Yeah, that's the.
I actually think that's kind of whack, dog. I
like variety. You know?
Yeah, bro. I was gonna say, like, I don't like that, but apparently that's like something that I guess the elites or white people are aware of, and that they're trying to, like, I guess, reverse that. You know, that's something I've heard. Yeah. Or that they're at least worried about it.
Well,
not that they're trying to, like, not that they have a solution for it, but they're extremely worried about that happening.
Yeah, part of that is what's considered the Great Replacement theory. You know, where they say that, for example, here in the United States, they say where they're letting all these immigrants in.
Keep on.
And since they're letting all these immigrants in, then they're going to end up outnumbering the white people. The white people are going to end up breeding with them, and we're just going to be a mix. Right?
Okay.
And then they also, they basically say that.
Wait, say that again. Sorry, dude. I just burnt out trying to say get my friend in here.
Well,
the what's it called again? The replacement theory.
The Great Replacement theory.
The Great Replacement theory.
Right.
I've heard of that.
The idea that they're replacing white people in white countries. They're like in the Western countries, right? What they're doing is they're getting all of the immigrants, especially black and brown immigrants. This is their theory, right?
Okay.
And they're putting them in all of these white European and the United States, all these countries that are majority white, and they're having them they're promoting interracial marriage and shit like that, so they mix together, and then eventually white people disappear or whatever. Yeah, that's their theory. That's basically what they think. And a lot of them think it's probably the Jewish people that are...
You think there's any truth to it?
A lot of them think the Jewish people are doing it. I think there's a lot of...
Jewish people are doing it?
That's what they say.
Why would they be doing it?
I'm not really... Listen, I'm not a guy who believes...
So you don't believe in it at all?
No, I don't think that the protocols of the elders of Zion or any of that shit. I'm not...
Do you think there's worry that white people do... Or like there's some white folks or whoever... has this the elites or whoever there is some like worry about that though? You think people are actually worrying about that?
I think there's a lot of people that are actually worried about that. Yeah.
The guy Jared Taylor, he's one of those people that he wants to strictly only date white people, so you keep like growing. I forgot what that's called. White.
I mean, I think that's the thing. That's a bit more collectivistic, you know, because the thing is like if you have a preference.
That's the thing, but people take it as something else.
But when it's not because of a preference, when it has to do with some agenda, you want to create something. That's collectivistic bullshit.
Yeah. I don't think he's on some agenda shit though. I think he just strictly wants a white. He just wants a white chick, and he wants his kid to be white.
I mean, most people like
what
people
they are
that are
similar.
Yeah, the people that are of the same race that they are.
Is that even true though? Statistically?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Isn't that called like tribalism or like?
I mean, I think it's just people are more attracted to people of the opposite sex that look like them usually. You know.
I mean, yeah. I mean, to an extent.
But yeah, that's pretty. I mean, that's research based. It's pretty solid. It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get Ron in here.
Let's get our boy in here, guys. We'll be right back. We have our guests. See you guys back.
Well, folks, we are here for another episode of the V N APE podcast.
Wait, bro, we're back. Remember, we had technical difficulties.
And the situation is as follows. We're here with a guest in Little Havana.
Yes, sir. People know this, bro. We remember we recorded a bit.
We got to introduce this man.
Yeah, we got a special guest. He goes. Do you want to actually have your name?
You put your social security number if you're not comfortable with your name being out there.
Yeah, I might as well just
let the people know
let everything, right? The whole government name,
address, where you live, how much you made a year,
financial status, and
where
all
you
that.
stand politically.
That's one we definitely gotta know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got Ron.
Ron, gamer alias One Hova, but Ron, it's simple to remember.
We got Ron Stoppable in the building.
Now, Ron,
the wizard.
I hear you've been having some conversations with V.
Yes.
And I hear in these conversations things have come up, things like the World Economic Forum and things of that nature.
All my homies hate.
The World Economic Forum. That's correct. Yeah. So, what have you heard precisely about the World Economic Forum, and what are your thoughts?
Well, from what I know and what I've heard and shared with V here is that
Shouldn't talk too close.
oh,
Try to talk a little. Yeah,
right there.
There's a
Perfect.
fucking plane flying over that. How dare you?
It's gonna catch you. Don't worry. Yeah, just if you talk too close, it's gonna be super loud.
Fantastic. All right. So, World Economic Forum, crazy shit. I mean, the perspective of how they make themselves look, very Apple-esque in terms of how they present themselves. It's crazy. They have such a formality with things, just a presentation of it all. The ideas, are they radical? Yeah, absolutely radical. I do disagree.
Well, from the perspective that I told you, it was kind of like
He was gonna have a disagreement. Wait a second.
a disagreement. I disagree with a lot of aspects where if one doesn't have their own individualism, well, what is that gonna create in society? It's gonna diminish our creativity, and that's just the main focal point of World Economic Forum. Whatever agendas they're trying to push independently, I feel like these other third parties, political parties that focus on environmental issues, they can do that. But World Economic Forum just stepped in and they want to be like, okay, fine, we have the money, we have the power, we have the branding, we want to tackle everything all at once.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of that is going on. Part of it is after World War II, they did end up starting the United Nations, right? And the United Nations, obviously, it had a series of goals, which hopefully was to prevent World War III. So far, we've prevented World War III. But we've also created an international bureaucracy.
Putin said he's nuking shit if Ukraine wins.
Yeah,
I think he said that actually like recently, like this week.
he probably will say shit like that. But we're far from that.
You think so?
Yeah, there's no he gains nothing from nuking Ukraine. I mean,
Yeah, he dies. That's it.
he's trying to take the territory, and he's already lost an estimated probably about 100,000 troops. And I think it would take at least 500,000 before he would seriously consider something like that. And probably only if Ukraine actually started invading
Russia?
into Russian territory and started taking it.
Yeah, but I don't think
Right.
they're trying to do it.
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, to offer something, I feel like, well, here we have another plane flying above us, but
Fuckers, bro.
my goodness, may they go to Hawaii and enjoy their vacation.
Hawaii? I wanna
Putin,
visit.
clout. If it does happen, he's just trying to do it for clout, and that clout is going to be compared to something the likes of Hitler, just because of the direction of if it does happen, right? But it's absurd. I don't see that scenario quite playing out. If
Ron doesn't believe the World Economic Forum will go far.
Oh, well, it's the World Economic Forum is just one platform.
absolutely,
I mean, there's a you see the same group of people
Different.
when you see the same group of people. It's what I mean by these people. I'm talking about like the most powerful politically
elites.
and economically powerful people in the world, right?
right.
So these people, when they meet up, it's not just the World Economic Forum. Of course, they meet up in the United Nations. They meet up at the Trilateral Commission. They meet up at the Bilderberg meetings.
Does the Bilderberg still happen?
Oh yeah, it happens every year.
It still happens every year?
It still happens
After
every
Alex
year.
Jones blew its
Yeah,
cover?
they don't give a fuck. No.
And if I can have a quick synopsis of what the Bilderberg is, I'm completely lost. here.
Bilderberg meetings are just these meetings that are held once every year where they, just like the World Economic Forum, they get the world's most influential, politically influential, and economically influential people in the world.
Elitist, if you will.
Right. They put them all together and they have a huge meeting about things that are going to happen in the world.
Without nobody's knowledge. That's the creepy thing about
It's
it.
completely private. Nobody is allowed to say anything that goes on in the meeting outside of the meeting.
Alex Jones actually caught them in a documentary or something that he put out.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did.
He's one of, well, at least from what I know, he's one of the few that actually exposed them.
He's one of the few that was actually interested in doing something like that. I mean, there's no, you're not going to see very real, genuine coverage of that. I mean, if you look at the major organizations that run U.S. media companies, right, you see all these different channels and platforms, but really they're pretty much owned. They're the same conglomerate. Like if you look at CNN and Fox, you'll all the way.
There's a meme about it, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same fucking guy.
Yeah.
Right.
So wouldn't that be considered a monopoly?
not necessarily because they compete with each other. Maybe it could be considered like a cartel in the sense that there's very few people at the top really competing with each other. At the top. At the bottom, you still have a bunch of influencers and people that are independent that still have their own thing going on. It's just not going to be that big. It just can't. I mean, these are publicly traded companies. I mean, you can buy their stocks. You know, they give out big dividends. They can get a lot more money a lot easier than we can, right? And they can just throw it in whatever direction they choose, which is when you see one channel saying the same message and another one saying the same message, and pretty much the entire planet going in the same direction culturally, right? In terms of just the agendas that they have going on, right?
Dude, my Bitcoin's going up.
Dude, you're looking at Bitcoin?
Of course, bro. That's the only one to look at.
What the fuck are you doing looking at Bitcoin?
Why not?
We're looking at the fucking podcast right now. What are you doing?
Just checking out the stocks.
What the fuck are you doing with your life? This new fucking breed of Gentile people, bro. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. What are you doing?
Everybody needs to man up, right?
What the fuck is going on here?
You know,
Bitcoin? Fucking Bitcoin?
You're against it?
Bitcoin.
You're not against it.
Nah.
indexed
You got any
mentality.
Bitcoin, actually?
I got like $5 in that shit.
And,
That's it?
Yeah, I'm not gonna fucking put it.
You're asleep.
I'm
Not
not
even $1 a day?
I'm not gonna take. Fuck no. Are you kidding me?
That might work.
Bro, there's actual stocks out there that can make you real money. You know,
I'm not saying to not invest in stocks, but
you don't gotta gamble.
I met some Russian dude that I was doing an Uber with.
Yeah.
I picked him up this week, and he was actually pretty cool. He was telling me about like how he's like a car hauler.
Yeah.
So he like picks up like very fancy cars, delivers them to people, whatever. He was telling me though about how I should read Rich Dad and Poor Dad
Great
by
book.
Robert
Yeah, I've read it.
Kawasaki.
Yes.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. He was, what do you think? Is it a good book?
I mean, it's a good book in terms of like the mindset, but it's not really a good book in terms of like actually learning about accounting or finance or anything like that.
No?
Like he conflates liabilities with assets, for
He,
example.
from what I know at least,
You know,
he believes that like you should use your debt to buy assets.
He'll confuse you when it comes to like actual like finance. Like he says, for example, that a car is a liability, right?
Does he?
Yeah,
Okay.
he mentions a car being a liability because it's a depreciating asset.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Right.
And the second you buy it, it's already a used car.
Yeah, it's it. It's already depreciating.
And
Off the lot, it just depreciates in value
Enormously, yeah.
drastically, yeah.
and so he goes on, he labels it like a liability. But he's also telling people like all these ridiculous ideas. Like he says, Bitcoin is going to go up at this one. It's like, dude, you don't fucking know that.
Yeah, I don't.
Stop fucking playing with people's emotions and money, bro. Like this is you don't know what the fuck the markets are going to do.
Nobody knows,
you do
right?
not know. I mean, the best you could say is that there's trends in the markets. The S&P goes up in the long run. An average 10% a year return.
He also told me to make a Roth IRA.
Well, yeah, you should do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been thinking about actually
You get
opening
a Roth IRA open, you'll be able to put money, you'll be able to put about $5,500 in there every single year. That's tax free.
Yeah, I know. That's what he was telling
And
me.
then after that, there's tax, but not until you get the money out. But that's a retirement account.
Type shit. Yeah,
You
that's
can't
what I heard.
really use
He
that.
shouldn't. It's for long term.
Yeah, if you're gonna need that money before you're like 65,
Yeah, you should probably stop hitting that.
if you're gonna use that shit
Sorry.
before the age of like 65, you probably shouldn't put it there, right?
Really?
Yeah, you should have an emergency fund before you start fucking around with putting long-term investments. Like you should have at least enough money to get you by for half a year.
What do you think about Acorns? Now that we've talked about investments,
The Acorn app.
yeah, automatic investments and Roth IRAs.
No, go ahead.
Well, when I first started using the Acorns app, I saw a lot of potential. And when I say potential, I mean the potential was completely exponential. You could become your own financial analyst. They give you the tools and the assets to see how much your money can fold. If not fold, it multiply tenfold by either having some sort of subscription type method where you put $5 into an investment account weekly, daily, monthly to your liking. And
Yeah, but you could do that with any. You could do that with Robinhood. You could do that with
Absolutely, but the difference
You
with
can. They just
What's
do it,
different about Acorn?
They do it differently.
automatic investment.
Yeah, they do it automatic. Like if you have change, for example.
You can
after
do that on
purchase
Bitcoin.
something.
Bitcoin takes a certain amount of money from me every week.
The good thing with the Acorns is that they have these profiles, right? Where if you want to be a little bit more lenient with your money, you can go the conservative route. Or if you just want to risk it, which I say you should, because the way that I see Acorns working, this is not a real thing, but
Not an ad, guys.
it's not a real. I'm not sponsored by Acorns, but Acorns, if you hear this podcast, sponsor me. I would gladly sponsor you
That
guys.
is wrong.
Yeah, just go with either not conservative. Go with something that's like high risk, high reward. You have a variable indexed rate with
If you're
Acorns.
young and you don't have much money, you should definitely be taking a higher amount of risk
initiative.
reward, but not in a stupid way, of course. But generally, people can invest like for example, tech stocks are excellent. You can have
Tech stocks?
technology.
Oh, okay,
stocks.
tech stocks. Tech.
So if you invested in like say for example an index of like the 30 largest market capitalization stocks in technology, you can see like the NASDAQ 100, for example.
I've always heard about the NASDAQ, yeah.
And if you look there, you'll see like these enormous corporations, and especially if they pay a nice dividend, like man, dividends add up. All right, if there's a company that's just paying you
Yeah,
money
you tell me about that.
4
though.
times a year,
Yeah.
and you get that money and you use that money to buy more stock,
Clutch.
and then next time they give you a dividend, they give you more dividend because you have more stock.
Yeah, exactly.
And you just do that until you fucking die.
yeah, just keep
Right?
going, yeah.
I mean, that's how you really get fucking rich. You have a great company that's going to keep paying you good money, right? That's really what it is. It's not like, this is the thing about Bitcoin is like, I don't know what the fuck it even is. Like, it's just some people, I mean, people use it for all sorts of things. People
Right.
use it to buy things, to make transactions. They use it to sell fucking organs.
It's the
they use
most,
it for everything.
It's the most backed crypto coin.
Yeah.
It's the one that if all else fails, this one would be it. That's gonna pop.
But it doesn't do anything.
Sure.
It scams a lot of people.
you know what I do it for? I have it like a backup savings.
Yeah.
Like if anything happens, I hit.
Yeah.
You feel me?
You
Like
got the Bitcoin in the corner of the couch.
I got it right there just
it's like
in
that,
case.
that change at the bottom of the
Right.
fucking couch.
That's
and,
what I have it. Like I have a savings account and then I have like the Bitcoin where it's
Right.
just like, all right, Doug, if this actually hits,
Yeah.
I got some shit. And look, bro, if that shit hits some crazy amount, like it stocks to like 100K or some shit,
It might.
and I get like, who knows, bro? I mean,
I say be very versatile with your money. That's smart. You know, not put all your
that
eggs
shit
in.
hits a mil, I'm cashing out, bro, immediately. Like,
Yeah, if you don't know much about stocks, you should definitely diversify.
Yeah, have multiple sources of
100%.
income.
Because if you're not Warren Buffett, you shouldn't just be picking out one company. I mean, Warren Buffett is the type of guy, he doesn't see risk the way that other people see risk. Other people see risk as like, you put all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
Yeah, but he was lucky though. He was in a time where like,
Oh, that was not luck.
you don't think so?
No, that was not luck.
It was more of like a divine
Dude.
circumstance.
When he started learning about trading, it was during a time, first of all, it was right after the Great Depression. His teachers, Benjamin Graham, like these guys were telling him exactly what was going on in the markets. And the way that they were investing is just by looking through the financial statements of these companies and just seeing like what is a real quality company. And they would try to sort of find the intrinsic value of the company. So basically, you get the company,
How do you find the intrinsic value?
it's not as objective as you might think. You get the financial statements, and
You kind of do a little guess.
no, it's not a little. Basically, you have this idea of when you look at a financial statement, especially if you look at the balance sheet, you're going to see assets, you're going to see liabilities, and
Right.
then you're going to see the shareholder the shareholder value, right?
So some fundamentals of accounting.
Basically, yeah. And so when you look at that, you really want to take I mean, back then, they were mostly concentrated on the balance sheet. Warren
Yeah.
Buffett doesn't see it that way. He looks a lot more like the income statement, for example, the cash flow. And what he sees a stock as is basically what it really is. People think it's like a fucking piece of paper that you could have or some shit on a screen that goes up and down.
Sure.
It's a piece of a company that you actually own. And if you have that piece of a company that you own, what you should do is see whether or not this is a company that in the long run is going to pay off. And the way to see that is to measure it against its competitors. and measure how much money it's actually making and try to deduce. Like, if you could get this company and get its cash flows from now all the way into infinity, that would be the intrinsic value.
Gotcha. How many companies do you think he got rich off? Or how many was it, if you know?
How many? What? Well, I think in the beginning when he was young, they don't talk that much about his earlier years. He's sort of like Jesus in that way.
Okay. I didn't he invest in Coca-Cola?
Oh yeah.
I've always heard
he
that.
still does.
To this day.
He still does.
He probably got a shitload in there.
They
right?
pay. Listen, part of the thing that Warren does appreciate is when a company has, when it has brand, it has loyalty due to its brand.
Gotcha.
Right. Like
Stands 10 toes.
Yeah, it's like the iPhone, for example, right? Like
100%.
Apple's a beautiful company. I mean, he actually bought like 5% of Apple a while back ago.
But that's what I mean in the sense that he was lucky. He was at a time where these companies were at the lowest. Obviously, he didn't know it was going to be.
No, this was way before that.
Even way before that.
Way before that, yeah, way.
So he was super early, like.
Oh yeah, I mean, no, he was during a. He was listen. He went through the period of stagflation, which
Okay.
was I mean, look at the 70s,
Okay.
right? This isn't even when he was new to trading.
Okay.
Right, he was already a veteran at this point. Like, look at stagflation. What happened is like the markets went nowhere for 10 years.
It just stayed.
And inflation went up.
Damn. So it stayed at the same place while inflation went up.
It didn't, like, if you look at a 10-year chart,
It looks like it
of
didn't
those
move.
years, it moved. No, it moved a lot. It just didn't go back to the previous high.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
So it never came back to the level that it was at previously. In that 10-year period, and inflation was going up.
Damn.
So that's why they call it, a period of stagflation, where there's not
Stagflation.
economic growth, but inflation is still high. Which is a terrible combination.
Until we eventually get into the bull run where the economy is doing well again.
Oh, yeah.
Now, during this time period, would you say that Warren Buffett can be compared to the cousin of Wolf of Wall Street?
Oh, man, he's way, way ahead of that guy.
100%. Are you talking about Jordan Belfort?
Way ahead of
Way
that.
ahead,
Doesn't
miles
that-
ahead.
Jordan
Oh.
Belfort gets a lot of shit.
It's not
though.
even a comparison.
Bro, he was doing some illegal shit.
He was a broker. He was a broker. I mean, he was a guy who was trying to fucking tell people buy this. He didn't know if it was.
Wasn't it penny stocks or something?
He pretty much knew they were shitty companies.
And he was like fucking gassing it like crazy. Like,
This
yo,
guy-
guys,
yeah.
trust me. This is the one. Like,
Steve Madden, right?
yeah.
Steve, he perfected the pump and dump, right?
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. Yes.
That's what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
He would inflate the price of the stock by calling all of these customers and be like, hey, this is the new shit. This is great. This is amazing. And he had really good salespeople.
So
He was a salesman.
That's what it was, really.
Right?
He was good at talking. He was
Yes.
charismatic. That's why in the movie it's fucking Leonardo DiCaprio. He's like, yeah, dude. And then he eventually got caught, and yeah.
So that's what we call having the Riz until it fizzles out.
Warren
That's one
Buffett.
way to put it, I would say.
Warren Buffett is like the actual dude that knows what he's doing, type shit. Like, but
Yeah.
you said he's a broker though, so it's like,
Jordan Belfort.
and Warren is just investing. Like,
Yeah. Jordan is a sales guy. He's the guy who just mixes the. I mean, a broker is just one guy who gets a guy who wants to sell a stock and mixes it with a guy who wants to buy a stock.
Now, tying it all back together, do you guys see any correlation with the Rothschild and the World Economic Forum collaborating in some fashion?
It would be hard to say, but at the same time, I would not be surprised at all. Because I don't find any direct link, but I mean, I would be very surprised. Like, these are very influential families that have known each other for generations.
kind of have a same goal.
Yeah.
New World Order.
New ambition.
Yeah.
Globalization.
I mean, the Rockefeller family, they've basically admitted it. I mean, David Rockefeller, he admitted it in his own fucking book.
Oh yeah, I remember you
said
telling
it.
me.
What
did he say exactly?
Verbatim. He's like, oh, these people have accused me of allegedly wanting to get together and, start this global government, right? And
And he's like, yeah.
sort of get ready. He's like, if that's what I'm being accused of, then yeah, I am. Right? It's basically
So blunt, just like, yeah, guys.
it was the most blunt shit I've ever heard.
People were stereotypically judging him of creating a sect, if you will.
I mean, it really is a sect. This is a small group of people that are sort of engineering the direction that everybody else is going to go through. And the culture that we have now is being handed not from the bottom up. It's not organic. It's being handed down from institutions. It's not something that we're just generating.
So it's an inverted pyramid that's trying to escape its fallacy of debt.
Yeah, there's a lot of it. I mean, think about it like, and if you look at the history of it, I mean, look, the United Nations building, for example, right, in New York, that building was donated by David Rockefeller, right?
Which is weird. Yeah, it's like...
Which is an odd flex, you know what I mean? Like,
out of all guys, yeah, it's him.
But then he goes in his book, he's like, yeah, I definitely want the world to be one government, yeah.
Yeah, the same guys that I just donated to, like...
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is fucking, it is weird, though. Maybe they look up to those guys.
But part of the issue is, like, where did Klaus Schwab come from? I mean, the World Economic Forum, I think it started in, like, 1972, and then all of a sudden...
For real?
Yeah.
Jesus. I
Yeah,
didn't know it was that old.
First of all, he's an engineer. I figure out what type of engineer he is. He's also an economist. And he comes up with these weird ideas about the what do you call it, the fourth industrial revolution, right?
Awesome.
Where humanity's going to have to mix with technology.
Oh, so he knew instantly about globalization.
Oh, yeah. And even back in the day, like after World War II, and you saw like in the 60s college campuses, there was actually, I forgot what university it was, they had a course on technocracy. I have a PDF of the textbook they used. And basically technocracy is the idea that the world is going to be run by the people who are experts at certain things. And
experts will manage society, pretty much.
Basically, yeah. It's sort of a dictatorship of the people that are the brightest at something.
So like elite human resources.
Yeah, basically. It's basically that. Just
you will own nothing and be happy.
You'll own nothing and you'll be happy.
You will rent everything.
Yeah, and in that case, it has a lot to do with sort of communist ideology, right?
Now that communist ideology, let's take
it's blended in there. It's like
let's take it a bit further and let's see it from their side. That would be considered a utopia for them. Yes,
it is a
Yuval, what's his name?
Yuval, the Israeli guy?
The bald dude?
Yeah, that guy's a fucking animal.
He said it a bunch of times where he's like, humans need to get hacked. We don't need more privacy, this and that. Like,
there's a lot of you that are useless.
Yeah.
And we don't know what to do with you guys. Except for porn and video games.
Yeah, literally. He said that shit, yeah. Like, and humans have no soul.
Drugs.
He doesn't believe in he doesn't believe in God.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. That's like Klaus Schwab's main homie.
Yeah, and the idea is this, like, they really want to control. I mean, they say that they want to solve all of the world's problems, and then
they definitely do.
And then every solution that they present, though, involves having some other way of controlling humanity more. Like, what do you want to do about climate change? Well, let's make these cities that are very great for people so that they can go to their job in, like, any part of the city in 15 minutes, right? And make it very easy. Smart cities, right? And smart cities, you're under constant fucking surveillance. They've already started the experiments a few years ago in China.
I mean, look at Singapore. It's actually one of the safest cities you can leave.
Yeah. Because of that, though.
Yeah.
Because they're so fucking controlled.
But it's a fucking dictatorship.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, for sure.
It's a fucking dictatorship. The problem
they can't do what they want.
I mean, once you convince people that it's like, it's fine. I don't need to say things that you tell me not to say.
That's where it all ends.
You're my dad. It's fine.
Yeah,
you can tell me how to live, right? This is the thing about Singapore. It's like, it is a dictatorship.
At the end of the day,
it's just what they try to consider a nice dictatorship. I mean, I think it was Aldous Huxley who ended up saying something like, the people, the best dictatorship for these people would be the one where people are not just happy, they're fucking excited, they're thrilled to be slaves. They fucking they can't get enough of their slavery.
I mean, I can see why, understanding Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the basic needs for just living, it's already being fulfilled. So the bottom of just basic needs, just not worrying about any finances, having a home, having food, you have that. So now
let's play devil's advocate.
Let's not take that for granted, though, because that has to come from somewhere.
Absolutely.
There has to be incentives, economic incentives. Somebody's making that. Yeah. If you're eating it, somebody worked for it. Somebody made that. So it has to come from somewhere, right? So where do these resources come from? Because somebody has to do the work.
Just to bring in some World Economic Forum clip, this is a clip of Saudi Arabian diplomat Ahmed Al-Jubeir. I don't know if I said that right. Talks about his vision of the future. There will be no cars.
Like I said, the virgin
There'll be flying cars instead.
Places very efficiently without using cars. There are no cars.
Not one single car?
It's going to be different types of transportation that are, like I said, environmentally friendly. There will be...
There goes the climate shit. Environmentally friendly shit.
Another aspect that's really huge with these guys is the idea of having everyone get some sort of RFID implant.
Is that the chip shit in you?
Where you won't be able to buy or sell anything unless you have this fucking thing on.
The China shit? Kinda?
I mean, they've already done some experiments on it in certain countries.
Amazon,
Right?
chip implementation with Amazon, so you can go into an Amazon store, scan your wrist, boom, walk out with a product.
Right, exactly. This is not something that you really want to have people deciding for the rest of humanity on. It's not a culture that you want to just have thrown by every single institution simultaneously.
Let me be devil's advocate for these guys.
Yeah, go for it.
Why not though? If what did you say again? Say it again.
Let's put it this way: do you trust governments?
Yes,
Me personally?
No. Yes and no.
Why do you trust them?
Why do I trust them? The governments are oxymoronic standing of why I trust governments. In the end, we are all human, right? Every human has their individualistic purpose of how they can make the world better. By sharing these individualistic purposes with a collective, then that collective either agrees or disagrees, and that's where ideas start coming into fruition. How can we implement these ideas? One aspect that I do like about the World Economic Forum is that they're trying to...
Get them, Ron. Hit them with the pushback. Let's go.
Tell them. I did say I like them for some aspects.
You did say that. I forgot to mention that. Keep on. Tell me your reason.
They do want to provide clean drinking water globally all over the world. Working with non-profit organizations, providing filtration systems that can provide clean water anywhere for underdeveloped countries or underdeveloped areas of the world entirely. And I see that as a positive.
Now, my thing is, do we need to microchip people? Do we need to have governments be substituted by these elites who are going outside of government, by the way? Nobody elected these people. They're going outside of government, meeting with the politicians and the strongest financiers of the world and deciding outside of the law of these countries what it is that the world is going to look like without anyone else's input. So it's already a dictatorship.
Because nobody even told them, yeah, guys, we believe you guys should do it.
They're already subverting
in a way
democracy. They're already getting rid of your ability to choose. They're going beyond that. They're stepping outside of government. They want to make government less important, and they want to make their global international institutions the most important thing in the world.
So this eliminates the concept, right? I've spoke with V about this, and I'm like, well, the concept of the rat race is heavily implemented. It's ingrained within our society that we are living through it day by day, breathing through it. Some people are trying to escape it. Some people are trying to change the rat race or just get rid of it altogether and create a new one. And this is where that utopian idea of the World Economic Forum comes into play, where everybody will have nothing. You will just lease it or rent it. Because the ideology behind the World Economic Forum pushing this, my perspective is that...
You think they're well-intentioned?
That's what it sounds like, yeah. You sound like these guys. I feel like you're giving them too much credit.
I think
in some areas where they care about the quality of life, where they want humans to live. Yes,
I feel like
the forced aspects.
I don't think they do. This is part of the issue, because the same people that are the ones that are in charge of these corporations, the ones that are polluting the most, the ones that are involved in all of these scandals, are the same people that are going to these fucking meetings and talking about how much we need to get rid of climate change.
They're the ones that are on jets. They're on jets.
They are the ones that are fucking causing this shit. They go over there and say, how can we get rid of this?
So the hypocrisy is...
It's extreme hypocrisy.
We turned the blind eye to the elitists.
Especially with the climate change shit, bro. The same people who scream climate change are on jets, bro. Like they're on
And
private jets. They're like,
you know, the private jet thing. It's like, well, if I had that money, I'd probably get a fucking private jet too. Right?
100%.
What I wouldn't do is try to tell poor people that they are going to have to delay their development and starve more,
yeah.
so that we can be environmentally friendly and sustainable.
Not even that.
Right.
Yuval, whatever the hell his name is, he wants to literally hack humans. He believes that, like,
Yeah.
that's fucking scary. That's where I don't like
There's
it.
been a lot of talk about how governments should sort of start implementing this, and they pretty much have.
And talk about how we should know who's vaccinated. We should know who's not vaccinated for future crises and like all this dumb shit. Like,
Pause though, but where are our rights? Where are our rights that our founding fathers created for this nation, for this,
talking to Mike.
for
Not too close.
for this country? Where are our rights? It's being
They're trying to take them away, Ron.
it's being taken away. It's already being taken away.
Yeah, it is.
And people who do study their rights and know their rights, that have
A lot of people don't care about their rights, Ron.
they're being shut down.
I'll tell you that
These
right now.
these people that do know their rights are being shut down on purpose by the government because, hey, you know too much. We're going to try and hush you as much as we can.
I mean, that's all. There is the list, the people that are like banned on all type of platforms and shit. Fucking Robert Kennedy. I know he's one of them.
Robert Kennedy's definitely banned in a lot of these places. Yeah.
He's like supposedly he's like one of the dudes that the government said no, we can't have him anywhere. Fucking, I forgot the list. There's like Riza Islam is one of them. Fucking
Yeah. Another issue with these organizations is that they take the most free and the least free places in the world and give them equal footing. In other words, they give them what they won't give their own people, which is a vote. So if you look at the United Nations, for example, right, every country can sort of vote on something, right? And you see that China and North Korea have the same vote that the United States has, right?
Right.
And the intentions of China, well, I think they speak for themselves, pretty much, right? The history of what China has done to its fucking people
Absolutely.
is horrific. The history of what the the history of humanity in terms of the people that have the power to control the rest of the population is never a pretty sight.
Heck, you see it with
I mean-
TikTok. They have two different versions of it.
Yeah, well, even if they're well intentioned, that is just such a fucking naive. If you think you're well intentioned and you think you want to save the world, like, you are the least capable person in the world if you think that's who you are.
And that is the definite fallacy. That right there is heavy introspection where people believe that they can do good and pass on good, but what might be good for you might not be good for someone else. So the fallacy goes to where, yes, you can bring up your own ideologies, your own counterpoints, but is it really being resourceful? Are you really having an open mind and an open ear to hear other people within government that have power besides these elitists?
Yeah. Well, my idea is two things. My idea is this: is it empirical, which means can we use it? Can we use observation and scientific methods to understand something and decide whether or not it's useful?
Absolutely. I mean,
and then on the other hand, the idea would be to be able to decide whether or not this idea is something that's going to reduce the rights of individuals. And if you see a collection of ideas for the way that humanity is going to be structured in the future, and it's universally a set of ideas that completely limits the rights of the individual, right? That dehumanizes the individual.
Immoralizing.
Then I start to question whether or not these people actually have your best intentions. Right? Because then the only evidence I have, I can't read the person's mind. I can only go by what it is that they're promoting. If what they're promoting is locking people up into cities where they're under constant surveillance, putting implants inside of them that they won't be able to buy or sell anything unless they have these things, right? That sort of thing leads me to believe that you don't have good intentions.
So
Al Gore's goofy ass was on World Economic Forum.
So to put it like this, do you believe that the World Economic Forum is subdiverting people into categories, just stereotypes, through some sort of algorithm, depending on state of being, finances, etc.?
Well, I think every government in the world is
That's
doing
already
that.
happening, yeah. I was gonna
Through algorithmic means.
More than, I mean, they use scientific models that they use, like, for example, complex systems. They have a bunch of complex systems experts. Harvard has graduate programs over there, and there's people all the way from Harvard to Germany that are graduating in complex systems to be able to develop these models that can sort of get a bunch of variables.
Slight interjection, by the way. Harvard gives free classes online. You can learn Harvard courses just by simply visiting their website, and
A lot of
voila.
colleges do that.
Knowledge is available to you at your own disposal without paying or needing to attend to a class, which
Yeah,
is
you're pretty much free in that sense.
Let me play a Schwab clip right quick and see what he says.
President of Argentina and so on, so that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more half of this cabinet, are for our actually young noble leaders of the world economic forum.
And that's true in Argentina, too. Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's true in Argentina as well.
It's true in Argentina, and it's true in France now. I mean, with the president, with the young noble leader.
I don't know what's the context of
You
this,
know
but-
what? Look, the idea is this. Look at the morality that they're passing down. Not them, everyone. I mean, every institutions, major institutions,
Yeah,
right?
those-
Diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? Those are very pretty words. What the fuck do they even mean?
well, diversity, the welcoming of different cultures, backgrounds, and just ethics of people, all that, right?
That's the idea. Now, diversity. What is the equity part?
That's the new term that they're using, right?
What is equity?
Yeah,
They use
your
the new term.
assets, your equity, your finances, your money, essentially.
Equity is different from equality.
Well, your equity. Yeah, no, equity.
I don't even know.
We don't mean equity as in stocks and
Not equity in terms of money.
No. Equity refers to, and this is going back to the critical theorists that are out there, right? This is referring to the idea that you will have equality of outcome.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's what it is.
Equality of outcome.
this is
no matter what given
The
circumstance.
CRT term, right?
It's not equality of opportunity, it's equality of outcome.
But this is the new term, though, right?
Yeah.
Not like the actual definition of equity, which is like being fair or some shit. I forgot what it means.
No. This is the critical theory. This is
CRT term.
their shit. They're the
Okay.
ones that are making this.
Because it says equity is the quality of being fair and impartial.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you read, for example, have you read Marx?
I don't think he's aware of this. I don't know if we talked about that.
We've talked briefly about Marx.
I've told them about a little slightly about
Marxism,
Marx. Nothing crazy.
nothing too in depth, but I've heard a little bit.
Okay.
It's like the fucking founder of this whole.
If I told you, for example, the idea of because before Marx, you got to look at Hegel.
Oh man, not this guy.
Oh yeah, you got to look at. There's no other way to do it.
The antithesis.
There's
and
no
all
other way
this
to do it.
shit.
Hegel, this dude was basically he was a fucking he was basically a Gnostic, right? This is someone who was looking at history as a conscious process, right? As a progression towards something.
He had
In
a
other
term
words,
for it called Geist.
Yeah, history is moving somewhere. History has a goal. And the idea is that goal comes through the combination of contradictions.
Yeah, contradictions.
And so you have these contradictions and they maintain the contradiction and they move you forward.
So like,
Something else.
for example, a baby and a fucking
Yeah.
a parent.
Yeah.
Okay.
The what would be that, like the wife or some shit, or
You could have like being and you all right, so have the idea of being, right? You're being right now, you're alive, right?
Yes.
And then you have the idea of nothing, right? And then you could see these as like the thesis
Yeah.
and antithesis, like one, and then you got the other one that's sort of the contradiction of the other. How can you have one and the other together? And then you have this,
man and wife, kid.
you have the synthesis. The synthesis is what in that case? Between being and nothing. The synthesis is becoming.
Yeah.
Becoming, right? Because between nothing and being is becoming.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
So, just to go on a slight tangent here, I actually spoke.
You are a tangent man.
Yeah, I am a tangent man. I like to go on many tangents and just connect everything together.
What you got?
The movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. Have you guys seen it?
Never.
I don't remember that.
It's a fondly a new movie. it takes a spin on the Matrix, and it's basically different multiverses where you can verse jump depending on every decision that is upon you. Now, you have to decide, depending on your decision, your reality splits.
Okay, so when you make one decision, that decision leaves you in a multiverse of that decision.
Or based on the decision, you go into a different a different verse.
A different universe, because you're in the multiverse, so you're in that universe.
So depending on the decision, you go into which. Okay.
Right, which the main universe where it connects all these other universes together in that movie is called the Alphaverse, where these protagonists, these main characters throughout the film are still themselves, but with different recollections of memories that they have lived on their other, I guess, multiverse lives into one universe. And well, to tie it together, the movie is everything everywhere all at once. It's the human life experience that where in one life you could be talking about one thing, but just because this sole decision of you speaking, it led you to, for example, it made you a billionaire because of that instance. So
Cause and effect?
It's definitely the cause and effect and the duality of cause and effect as well. So, but tying it back to how this relates to the World Economic Forum, I wanted to lead into the question, do you believe that in today's generation, we have a dependency on technology? If not, if we're already there?
Yeah, we definitely have a dependency on technology.
I think we talked about this.
I mean, and we're going to continue to, because the more we depend on technology, the less we depend on nature.
Absolutely.
And people control technology, so therefore that's another way to control people.
So that's going to become everything that we know. Is that not essentially already living in the Matrix, plugged in, to where algorithmically you are experiencing a simulation of life?
It's pretty close.
I mean, technology hasn't got there yet.
It's pretty close.
I think it just relies on time.
I mean, at a certain point, you might look at, Mark Zuckerberg, and he might just tell you, like, get in the fucking pod, bitch, and that's...
Yeah.
Right.
For all you know.
Well, okay,
Or
so...
he might tell you to just, beat him off.
So how did these creators, these
Gotta add
novelists...
some comedy, though.
Yeah.
Stanley Kubrick, 1968, HAL 9000 characterization, where your soul, your body, like everything you do, not your body, but, your soul, your mentality, your characteristics are all put into a robot. Is that not letting your soul rest in peace?
Well, this is the interesting thing. It's like, well, does your consciousness die if you end up transferring it into another piece of matter, right?
Or person, or thing.
What is consciousness? We can't even define it scientifically, right?
This guy's an atheist.
Let alone study it.
Okay.
So
he doesn't even believe in us.
So what do you believe, or what do you think of an AI having consciousness and then being sentient? This actually did happen recently with Google, and there's an AI that is sentient, and her name is Lambda. Google, the creator that made this AI, went to the human resources of Google, the higher ups, and they fired the man and decided to keep the AI. Why that is? Why do you think that is? That's a good question. I asked myself this question, and I don't even have an answer to why the AI is kept.
He's not needed. That's it.
Well,
the AI. Well, I don't know at what cost. I don't know what the cost would be for them to get rid of that AI, because I have no idea what it was functioning for. And the idea that you could just get rid of that technology when, I'm sure they're getting hit up from organizations all over the planet to try to figure out what the hell that thing is doing, because I don't think anyone knows.
Do you feel like AI will surpass, if not overtake, humans and become the top of the food chain?
Oh, of course.
You asked me this last time, I remember.
I'm shocked that you said of course.
Yeah, the other alternative would be that we modify...
We fuse with them. That's what I was telling you.
I think the idea that we fuse to them is pretty... I think it's a poor idea, because I feel like we so underestimate biology by doing that. I feel like what we could do is generate insanely superior biology using what we understand about AI and what we'll discover about consciousness in the near future through experimentation.
The idea where we'll be able to cure all diseases, we'll be able to live longer.
You can turn yourself into a fucking superhuman because you have genetic code just like a computer has code If that thing can surpass it with code, then you could
Just copy and paste to yourself.
You might as well be able to fucking modify your own genes until you're able to pull that off. And so I think that would be a better solution than just fucking turning yourself into a cyborg. And
Or we just like get these like huge fucking magnets and like just like bird call all the robots to this one place, and we just like get the world's biggest magnets and just fuck them up. Like that's it.
that'd be one way to get them.
Was it
Magnets, bro? I mean,
Yeah.
right.
I'm
You could
pretty.
have like an MRI.
I'm pretty sure I saw
Crazy shit.
a similar concept in a movie. I think it was what was it?
Terminator?
No, not Terminator. It's like one of those new movies. It's like you got to be quiet all the time. The first 20 minutes of the film, you have to be quiet, or if not, this alien monster-looking thing from Stranger Things will kill you. Oh, it's called A Quiet Place.
I remember.
Have you guys seen The Quiet Place?
No, I haven't seen it.
I'm not gonna spoil you guys, but there was a similar concept where a high enough frequencies affect these monsters. That's all I'll say. But just going back on more introspective thoughts of where we might end up in the world with technology.
Dude, I was gonna say, didn't you want to bring up MLK?
Oh, we can bring that up.
But what were you saying, bro?
Oh, my train of thought, I lost it out. It's something about technology. It'll come back to me if it's interesting enough. But yes, MLK.
MLK's birthday was this week.
Right, yeah.
Right?
We had Martin Luther King Day.
R.I.P. to the man.
Yeah.
I had a dream.
And
Very important historical figure that changed a lot.
But my man Ape did have a tweet that I seen
yeah.
where
For the better,
for more or less saying that we shouldn't put Martin Luther King on this huge pedestal as a
I don't
god.
think you should do that with any single person.
Sure, I agree.
Any single person. And I especially don't think it should be politicized. This is the sort of thing that you saw in the Soviet Union with Lenin. I mean, there's fucking Lenin Park in Havana in Cuba, right?
No
There's
way.
a bunch of Lenin parks.
I did not know
Seriously?
that. I did not know that, and I'm a Cuban.
I've walked in that park. It's ridiculous.
By the way, have you seen the fucking statue?
Yeah.
It looked like they were like holding a big ass meat.
Yeah.
Like a big ass penis.
All right, depending on from the
It
angle.
looked kind of based, I'm not gonna lie.
people have criticized especially the people who just don't like. I mean, especially like the hardcore, like the racist types. Of course, they want to find
The
an
alt-right,
excuse.
yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
those guys definitely want to find an excuse to sort of demonize Martin Luther King, and they demonize him for things like, like fucking a bunch of other women when he was married and shit.
My man was smashing them snow bunnies.
They say, I mean, that's
what they say.
Cool. What other presidents have smashed as well, like Abraham
Yeah,
Lincoln?
this is not a. And the idea for me is like this doesn't have anything to do with whether or not his politics were right.
It's
or
not
wrong.
valid enough. It's like, okay, so what?
Yeah, it doesn't do anything
Yeah, it has nothing to
for
do
me
with that. Yeah.
in terms of his politics. To me, the idea of his politics was the idea of like ending segregation. Okay, that's good. I agree with him on that.
I agree.
And I think
Everybody should.
Everybody should.
and I think he sort of gave his life in
100%.
the effort to get rid of that. So I think that's admirable.
Honorable for sure.
On the other side,
Truthfully, life changing.
there's the side of his politics.
Let's listen.
Right.
I don't know.
So what is the political philosophy of Martin Luther King? Well, basically, I mean, if you read his own books, he's basically telling you you have to say that it's, humanity is not equal, right? We're not being judged by the content of our character until every single race is exactly the same across all these dimensions,
Sure.
right? Which is exactly the woke bullshit that you hear nowadays, right? And
Right.
it's impossible.
Right.
It's impossible. Groups are always going to perform different, no matter what. It's a combination of a bunch of shit. It's about combination,
Tribalism.
cultural shit. It's a combination of generational past differences, anything.
Like Jamaicans, they don't play about that gay shit.
Right. So when you
Just
deal
for an
with,
example, like-
when you try to say that if there's a difference between the performance of Group A and Group B, then it's due to racism. You got rid of the idea of causality. It's just correlation.
I see what you mean.
All that matters is correlation now, right?
That's it. So
So-
no matter what, it's just gonna always be racism. That's gonna be the answer.
Right, that's basically the idea.
What
It's
they're
sort of
trying
like
to-
the God of the Gaps theory, right? Like the idea is like, how was the universe created? It's like, well, it ended up out of the Big Bang, and what made that happen? It's like, well, we don't really know yet. It's like, well, that means God did it. If you don't know what the answer is, then God. Well, if you don't know what causes difference between these two groups, then the answer is racism, right?
Type shit, right?
Funny how you mentioned how the universe was created. You know, just to throw it in there. You know that DC, yes, the comic book company, accurately represented Bible stories, and they made comic prints out of them. I mean, it makes sense because DC is also the company that gave characterization to the fallen angel and even God himself by the presence. The presence is a character in human form where it's essentially God. It's a short man with a top hat, mustache,
I've seen this.
holding essentially what is the creation of the universe in his hands, right? And well, that's one characterization. But you know how we also called God the Father, the Holy Spirit, and Jesus Christ at the same time?
Yeah.
Many characterizations of one thing can have different perspectives depending on the circumstance, how it was taught. So that's just quite interesting. I just wanted to throw that tidbit in there about God and how the universe was created, because there's the infinite multiverse theory that DC does so well. If you ever want to check up on how the Big Bang was created in comic form, go check out Comic Drake Infinite Earths multi theory, and he'll explain it right off the bat, off rip, really nice.
Well, there's something very interesting about the comic book collections that come out. A lot of people don't know what they are based on. They are based on archetypes, basically.
Oh, sure.
You know this, Mike. I've talked about it before.
What?
They're based on sort of the archetypes developed by Carl Jung, right?
Really?
He was.
Are we talking about this?
Yeah, Carl Jung. He basically tried to unmap the unconscious, right? And if you read him, you can start to see what he sort of tries to map out as the unconscious. And he got away from people like Freud, who attributed it all to like sexuality, and then later in life to death, right? So the problems, the neuroses, the mental illnesses that people had back then. Freud, for example, he would attribute them all to sexual unconscious problems.
I think that would just be the given circumstance of how people had a mentality different back then without technology, where sexuality was just a power concept back then. It was more cavemanish, if you will, outdated, but it's authentic for its time period.
Yeah, it was very repressed back then.
Wait, but what's wrong with Martin Luther King though?
Well, the problems with Martin Luther King is the expectations that he had. And so if people are saying that, like...
Way too high?
Because the problem is that people have this idea that the politics of Martin Luther King should be the racial politics that the world takes over, right? And you have a Martin Luther King Day, which sort of implies that his politics are something to aspire to. His politics, I think, were fucking terrible. I'll just be honest with you. I mean...
Well, what were some?
Well, I told you one of them already. He's all for the whole equity thing, where if there's differences...
Oh, so he was with the equity shit?
He's written it in his books. I mean, if there's a difference between the performance of the races, then that means that the cause should be racism, and that we haven't really fixed the problem.
Every time, though?
Yeah, we gotta equalize it. It's like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. I mean, listen, look at Asian people, for example, right? They make a lot more money than the average white person, right? I don't think the cause of that is racism.
Who says it's racism?
Right?
It's not.
No one.
But isn't your point saying that people are arguing that it is racism?
It's a stereotype. It's an implied stereotype.
There's people arguing that Chinese people making this amount of money is due to racism.
No, I don't think any...
No, not you. I'm just saying there's people out there that believe that, though.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there are. There's people who believe
Isn't
all
that the whole
types
secret
of
vibe?
As an implied stereotype, I guess that's the only way to come to a conclusion that it is that there are eventually people out there that do stereotype subgenres, if not categorize people into
Dude, do you remember the fucking fuck, what was I gonna say? That chick that I was like hitting up a minute ago, and she's like on some real woke shit.
Who was that?
Some chick on Instagram. Whatever. Not the point. But whatever. The point is she had put a post up, right? And she was talking about how, like, it was MLK Day, so, like,
Yeah.
she was in her bag, in her woke bag, posting all this shit about, like, Martin Luther King. She was like, oh, don't let these people project this on you guys, this and that. She was talking about how like racism is a structure, this and that. You already know where I'm going.
Yeah, I
with
understand
this.
that. Yeah.
And then I told her, I was like laughing my ass off. You sound like you read Robin DiAngelo books. And
She does.
she hit me with the laughing my ass off. I do.
Ooh.
Wow, how you said she does and she does.
And when I read that, I was just like,
Do I unfollow?
I mean, I literally put quote from you, fascinating.
Yeah, there's nothing left to say. I mean,
That was all and then like I was really gonna hit her with because first of all, she's a white girl.
yeah.
So I was gonna immediately
Yeah.
ask.
Robin DiAngelo's a white girl.
No, I was gonna immediately ask. So you're racist? So since you're a white chick,
Yeah, you're racist.
And I didn't wanna argue and shit, but that's the immediate question
That's
I have.
that's what you have to believe.
That's exactly
I mean,
Robin
that's the
DiAngelo's. Ron, the whole thing with this chick.
She's not even a social scientist, this fucking lady. She's just a bullshit
science
artist.
fiction. She writes books, and like, just to sum it up quick, she believes that all white people are racist.
This
that
lady
inherently they're racist.
Has convinced you that there's this huge
By law,
white
natural
supremacy movement.
inherently, like it's in you. It's
Born
There's nothing
with.
you can do about it. It's unconscious. You can't even control it, right? It's out of your control. It's there. It's somewhere in the... First of all, there's no fucking evidence of that.
First of all,
Whatsoever.
that would be impossible to even. There's no way to gather. that
I've
type of
read
info.
It's unfathomable. You
I've
can't.
read the implicit association studies. They're bullshit.
Yeah.
They're bullshit. Nobody knows what the fuck that shit is measuring. And, right, the problem with it in large part is, bruh, it's not very reliable. Like, imagine if you took your blood pressure, right?
All right.
And the blood pressure machine, like you always have like a steady blood pressure, for example, right? You haven't changed anything. Everything is the same. And you take your blood pressure and one moment it says 200 with 42. And then it says 42 with 200. And then it just goes all over the
Right.
fucking place, right? The same shit happens with these implicit association tests. It's ridiculous.
So there's no concrete answer.
In science, in social science, if you want a construct to be
all this shit is
useful,
fucking theories, bro.
Well, in social science, there's actually a great Scientologist, Ron Hubbard.
Ooh, let's go, Ron.
beautiful man.
I need to hear this.
Ron Hubbard.
yeah.
We've talked about him. I need to hear your take on this. Let's go.
I like his ideologies. I like the implementation.
Let's go, Ron. Tell Ape why you fuck with Ron Hubbard. Let's go.
Let me tell you why I fuck with Ron Hubbard. I was taught about Ron Hubbard in a dental office by one of my managers while I
That
was.
is insane.
Tell me more. I need this.
Oh my goodness.
God. Was he a Scientologist?
He is a Scientologist.
Oh, God.
All right, keep on, please.
How I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I don't mind.
Keep on. We don't care.
I don't mind sharing.
This is great.
Yeah, we're not hating. Go.
I actually like Ron Hubbard's implementation of a direct.
Dianetics?
Not Dianetics.
Dianetics is beautiful. How dare you?
I'm asking.
Not Dianetics, but direct implementation of where to go in conversation. The orthodox, rather compared to the unorthodox methods
This
of
is something he touches on?
Yes. It's
willing to hear this.
It's like the business ethics that you use colorful language that's still PG, like shut the front door. I get you.
Okay.
You know, like impactful words like that where I get it, you know? And that Scientology, that practice, if it can be shared, even though it's just something that was conceived in the 1950s, we don't have those methods of teaching. Why? I don't see it antiquated. I see it being useful in certain circumstances, depending on what type of scenario you're in. In the healthcare industry, I see that Scientology model blowing expectations if you know what you're doing in the healthcare industry.
Well, let me just tell you one of the things that they do believe that you should do, Ron. They believe you should go in a sauna for 5 hours to detox your body. 5 hours in a sauna.
Wait till you hear about Zulu and all of these different. The reality is the universe is trillions of years old, right?
Yeah,
trillions. Well, it's not just billions. Fuck what the scientists said. It's trillions.
Trillions.
Dr. Hubbard said so. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, you guys seen this South Park episode? It's fucking hilarious. I mean,
I haven't actually.
they don't even tell you this type of shit until you.
Oh, the Xena's there. Yeah, I forgot.
Until you pay like $100,000 on this shit, they don't tell you.
Yeah, that's the sad thing about
the
it.
Earth is trillions of years. First of all, L. Ron Hubbard, a fucking science fiction author. Like, bruh.
Like, literally, that's what he was, Ron.
Genuinely fell for it, like, sincere, like, 100%. Like, this is a science fiction author who started a cult.
Yeah.
Now.
It's a cult, Ron.
Now, hear me out.
Go ahead.
I know, I'm with you.
We're with the devil's advocate.
I still love L.
Devil.
We're fans of him. We're not hating on him.
We love him.
Yeah, like
He's the best.
Yeah, V N APE Scientology people, shout us out, bro.
You can fuck my wife if I get married.
Whoa. Promote on the pod.
Yeah. Oh, no. I have no shame in saying that. You can fuck my wife. Oh,
Yeah. Promote on the pod, Scientology, all you guys want, please.
No problem.
Send us emails.
Absolutely.
So tying it back to one of the tangents that I provided with earlier, the characterization of HAL 9000 in Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
Okay. Science
Never seen
fiction. Science fiction. How many arts of science fiction is now becoming the norm in today's society.
Oh, yeah, a lot.
Oh, yeah. A bunch of movies are not even... They're just real now.
So would you...
The problem is that one had to do with technology, and the one that L. Ron Hubbard is talking about has to do with the age of the fucking universe.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the big issue with L. Ron Hubbard. But I love him either way.
Yeah, he's fascinating. For sure.
Now, would you consider Nostradamus a Scientologist?
Ron always talks to me about Nostradamus.
I think Nostradamus was a bullshit artist. I really do.
Ron fucks with him.
I fucks with Nostradamus.
I fucks with him.
Let me tell you why. Somebody from the 1600s had a dream, wrote his dreams in Latin, and then years later, what he wrote in Latin actually turned out to be real historical events in today's society.
Yeah, but Ron, think about it like this. Like,
how the fuck?
I feel like anybody could say something, and then eventually there's a possibility that it just might ever happen. You know what I mean?
It's interpretation and
how two gigantic metal structures and a gigantic flying unidentified object crashes
people
and
saying flying cars, like eventually it might just actually happen. You know what I mean?
Look at the translations here too, because there's problems with translating Latin into English.
Into English, yeah, of course. But notice that when man has the imagination, the creativity to just apply his imagination on paper.
Oh yeah.
Fiction creates non-fiction.
Oh, absolutely. It happens all the time. I mean, you have to have an idea before you can turn it into something real. You know, that's how engineering works, right? That's how you know, that's how you structure the world the way that it is now. You create something that doesn't exist mentally, and then you develop it physically.
And it can only be done so much that there eventually will be a redundancy. There will be a point where it's just completely oversaturated, where the human mind wants to disconnect from technology and rely on its humane arts, on its soul.
Probably I feel like it'll be impossible though, because like eventually people are just gonna be so accustomed to
We're in deep.
Yeah, like
Matrix deep.
Kids are on their fucking iPads and like their tablets.
The autism rate is through the roof.
It's everything we know. A screen. Yeah. Since television 1940s.
Screens just keep getting bigger. And our eyes are just stuck to them.
More pixels, you know.
Everything is looking crazy good, perfect.
And we keep depending on technology. I mean, we haven't been able to use nature itself. Right.
People need to get fucked up. People need a good ass whooping sometimes.
Well, listen, the problem...
Fight Club is an amazing movie that might actually help.
I mean, I've had my ass kicked a bunch of times, you know.
A lot of people haven't, though. People suffer. There's no masculine energy in a lot of men's.
I think ass whooping can build character. It can also like feminize a man. You know, it happens in prison. You know what I mean?
Well, I actually got some character development, if you want to call it that, in the 5th grade where.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Ron, share stories.
Starting early here.
I'm not going to share names. Not going to share the school of where I went to, but
you don't have to. It's fine. It's fine.
But let's just say that.
What happened?
It was lunchtime, 5th grade. Bully was stealing my friend's nuggies, right?
Damn, the nuggies.
That's brutal.
And at the time, I think my friend had what's a thing? Not diabetes. It's something with the low blood sugar where he needed to eat, right? And I understood that, right?
The shit that Prodigy had, I forgot what it's called.
What, sickle cell?
Is it sickle cell?
No, no.
Anemia? Sickle cell
Oh,
anemia?
never mind. I don't know. That could be that.
It's just something with low blood.
Whatever. Homie was stealing the homie's
He's
nuggies.
stealing the homie's nuggies, right? You're talking about me, little skinny white dude, nerd, glasses, huge, right? Going up against somebody who's taller.
Damn, you stood up for him?
I got punched, not punched in the eye. I got tripped over by my shoelaces. Oh my God, here we go. Here we go.
So you tripped.
That's worse than getting punched.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm the one that actually threw the punch and got away with it. And all the staff in the school and goes like, "No, you're an innocent kid, right? What happened?" I'm like, "He stole my friend's food, and he has low blood sugar. He has nothing to eat, right? Like why do that, right?" And then it goes like, "But what happened?" And goes, I lied, right? So I said that I was the one that got punched when I ultimately threw the first punch.
Lie, of course.
Right. And so, but like what did happen is that I tripped. My glasses ended up cutting through the top of my eyebrow where I started bleeding. And that's where I told everybody in the staff inside, "Hey, look, he threw punches because
This guy was being aggressive."
Yeah, it was being aggressive. I won the fight, even though in the end I still looked like I was pussy made, but...
Well, listen, man, you stood up to help a friend.
That's kind of the most important thing.
That shows character.
Yeah, forget that you lost or whatever.
Yeah, but
that's more important than the actual outcome of the fight.
Fuck the fight, bro.
Yeah.
If you fought, I mean, you did your shit.
Yeah, it don't matter if everybody loses a fight.
Yeah.
I lost the fight, like, in the sense, like, I had to lie to protect, like, my reputation of just being innocent and whatnot.
Wait, but how did the fight go? Like...
How did the fight go?
You tripped and then what? Like
it went up to it escalated to a point. I'm like, "Hey, you can't do that. He has low blood pressure." And I was like, "Yeah, what are you gonna do about it? You know what I'm gonna do about it?"
This sounds like some elementary shit. Yeah.
You know what I'm gonna do about it? Stand up. He goes, "You want me to stand up? Stand up right now."
Oh.
Right? We go, "What are you gonna do?" This is what I'm gonna do, right? I literally just clenched my fist, punched him in the face. He fell down, wanted to tackle him on the ground, but I tripped over my shoelaces. My glass almost got wedged inside my eye, but literally it was
okay, I got it now.
centimeters away from my eye that it, slit my eyebrow. And
Mike, you wanted to say he was gonna lose it, bro. I mean, damn, bro. Why you gotta give him an L?
He didn't provide details. I was assuming. My bad.
Listen, I gotta ask you, Ron. Have you know what it means to have your salad tossed?
Oh
my God, that's some gay terminology.
You know what that is?
It doesn't have to be gay.
I'll tell you what. If you go in prison,
stereotypically, is it not a gay thing?
If you go to
women could toss your salad.
If you go to prison, right? You might.
Is that like some reverse sex Deadpool where like the woman is given?
No. You got to be trained if you're going to be groomed in prison to be somebody's bitch, right? So the way they do it is like you got to get some peanut butter and jelly. You get some peanut butter and jelly, right? You get the guy to open the jar, and he gets the peanut butter and jelly out, and what he makes you do, he makes you stick it up his asshole.
Oh
right?
my God, this vivid depiction.
And then you have to lick it off. And the idea being this.
So it's called a rim job.
It's a rim job, but it's, they put it with something so that you got to actually eat something. You're not just licking that shit. You got to fucking eat.
Why do I feel like you learned this from a movie or something?
Now, wait a second. That's not it. The idea behind it is the actual science of grooming somebody to be somebody's bitch.
To bring the science to it.
Right. What it shows you is that if you're willing to lick and swallow peanut butter and jelly off a dude's asshole, you will have no problem sucking his dick.
You think so?
That's the idea.
Where does the science come from? Where's the source?
I mean, from experience, over time. I mean, that's just how they do it.
I mean, I'm pretty sure anybody that's willing to do that would be okay with it.
I think it's about the most humiliating thing that you can...
It's more of like a power thing.
It is a power thing.
It's a complete power thing.
It is.
But then it goes on to like the way that, because...
I've never got my salad tossed, by the way.
There's this hilarious prison documentary.
Nor would I ever want to.
This is amazing. I think it was in Georgia. Of course it's in Georgia, right? Yeah.
Could have been anywhere else.
State above Florida.
Atlanta, right? Amazing situation in a prison where this guy, he got this guy to be his bitch.
Sure.
Right?
On some boondocks.
He was like this really soft white guy and shit, and eventually, right, the bitch falls in love with him. Right? Oh yeah, started feeling that shit, right? And then after that, he had other bitches on the side, and that bitch started getting jealous. But what happened? He fell in love with his bitch.
Like on like some
It happens, dog. It probably felt so good.
on some power trip demisexual conversion.
Not even. Like it held emotional value.
What I'm trying to get at though, and I really, I don't mean to be crass, Ron, but I gotta ask, do you think a chick with a dick is a chick?
Ooh, he's hitting you with the hard.
Like a hermaphrodite.
No. Just like a chick.
Hermaphrodite has both.
Let's say a trans woman, right? Somebody that ended up, they got some tit job, right? And they're on estrogen hormones, right?
Right.
Is that a man?
It still has the cock. You know what I mean?
Is that a man or a female?
Be careful because the internet might.
They might cancel you.
Now, here's the thing, right? Regardless of internet cancel culture or...
You don't care about that, right?
I don't. I mean, it's the internet, but I'm not, eventually things that
We get
a person will
millions of
say...
views, so be careful.
Eventually a person will say something, right?
Okay.
And, if the people like the tonality, they like the expression, they like the idea, and they're authentic, then, hey, that's the person being their genuine selves. But you can't please everybody.
Okay.
I say, yes, it's still a man. Why? Now, I did go to college, and usually in college groups, they will tend to... Especially if you're involved, you will have lots of what's it called? Like sort of like inspired tech talks meetings, if you will, where you get to participate in the crowd, ask questions, any inquiries, and people just share their own experiences.
Do they share their pronouns?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
where they provide their pronouns.
My pronouns are Zer and Zim.
Mine's are swag and it.
Zer and Zim. Can you remember that?
Yes.
There's 48 other ones I need you to remember.
And refer to me as only as them, or I will be offended.
Otherwise, you're transphobic. I don't
And
know if you know
you're a
this, but Mike is non-binary, so tread lightly.
Tread lightly on how you speak about
Tread
me.
lightly. Yeah, this is very.
This is super dumb.
My fans will find your address, find your Instagram.
The last thing you want is
I'll
to
get
have.
DDoSed. I'll get swatted.
You ever been beat up by a group of chicks with dicks?
Yeah,
It is not a pleasant experience.
You don't want that type of heat.
Okay.
Goodness, that sounds like a movie.
It's brutal.
It's more. It's a movie,
It's
all right.
worse. It's a horror movie.
It's a movie, all right.
It's definitely one kind of movie. So a chick with a penis. Unless
Right if she got the surgery.
if she got a full, complete surgery
And she
and
got the new pussy, the new coochie.
and by pronouns they call themselves she. And they, complete female, just sex change, like a complete sex change.
Right.
At that point, they're female.
Listen, man.
Regardless,
Hard disagree on that.
Get at him, babe.
I can't. So, all right. Now, by that logic, you're attracted to women, right? You're attracted to females.
My man Ron is married.
Right, he's
Yes.
married. Now, potentially, if you weren't married, right, you may have met this girl
I already know he's gonna argue.
who had a sex
Go ahead.
change. And since you are attracted to girls,
already
that
know
means
this
you would
guy.
be, well, potentially attracted to her, right? Let's say she's a 10 with a sex change. I mean,
Let me.
alright.
Are you
got the-
dating a chick that has a sex change? Let's say you were single, hypothetically.
Oh, I like where this is going.
I mean, has there?
Because you did just say, and you just admitted,
Oh,
if
God.
it's a sex change, it's a chick.
It's a chick.
So
There should be no shame involved in admitting that you would fuck a chick if you're attracted to chicks. You know?
Yeah.
It's like,
So do they join the group of chicks that you're attracted to?
Only if they flat out introduce their true, genuine, authentic selves right off the bat, off rip. Hey,
They let you know.
They let-
ahead.
they-
like
they-
hey, I got a.
so like if she has a good personality, you're down.
shameless, no fear, can say, "Hey, I had a sex change." Right at
Okay.
that point, if they're genuine with themselves
Okay.
and they're a girl,
then you'll consider it.
No, don't limit him to just consider it.
No,
I want a yes.
Well, for many, high consideration. Would that be my breaking point of yes? I would still say I wouldn't tread in those waters.
Oh,
come on,
you
Ron.
can't do that.
Then you're contradicting
Can't
yourself.
do that. No, Ron, that is unacceptable. That is unacceptable. She's a 10. She's completely. I mean, you told us she's completely genuine. She has this great personality.
Yeah, she's perfect. Hypothetically, she's the
beautiful.
fucking one. But she ends up telling you like, "Hey, look, I actually got a
This
surgery."
is just an inverted cock.
Yeah, I got surgery.
Right.
Right, and let's just say, boom. Now I have walls. You can come on me. Same shit. Same
Right,
shit.
right.
You can accomplish the same
Whatever
thing.
you wanna, get your freak bag on. It's the same shit. Yeah.
Your sexual desires.
But she was born a man.
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
You did say
Once you finally go through that transformation and you identify yourself as such, and you're going forward.
Right.
It is up to your discretion if you want to share your past, if you were a man or not. And depending on the...
I think you should no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And that too.
I think I'll know.
Yeah,
Depending on the severity, some people can hide it very well.
No, don't get me wrong. There's probably some attractive trans chicks that look exactly like a girl.
Not the bottom surgery.
But
Impossible.
At that point...
I'm not saying that part.
I would
I mean,
not-
like, just face.
Yeah, the face, they can pull it off.
That's what I'm saying. Obviously, when it gets down there, it's like, all right.
I mean, at that point, I wouldn't consider it trans.
So would you get some head?
Would you get some? All right, there we go, Abe. Would
you get some
Would you
head?
get some head from a trans
Perhaps
chick?
a hand job. Would you beat off in front of her?
Would you get a hand job? That's a good one. That's like a good middle. Would you get a hand job from
This
a
is middle
chick?
ground. I'm not pushing it at all. This is just... See, this is what they do in prison, right? They like groom you, like they get you little by little, and then that next thing you know,
You start just admitting to like, yeah, I'll fuck a trans chick. Like, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean...
Trans women are women, you know.
They are women, and if they are women, but
I don't know about that.
but having the acknowledgement that, you know, if they were trans before, does it make me feel different?
That's the question. Does it make you feel different that they were a man before?
Yes.
You bigot.
How could you, Ron?
How dare you?
I mean, hey, at this point, at the circumstances I'm in my life, I'm a married man. I can
Sure, we're talking hypotheticals,
Don't
bro.
you excuse your trans
Yeah,
phobia
come on.
behind your marriage?
Yeah, dude. How could you?
This is hypotheticals on the circumstances that I've been taught. You know, diversity, I welcome it. I welcome everybody's individuality of how they want to be on this earth.
Just
I
not
think
if
we
she
need,
has
like,
a dick.
Pedophile therapy groups, nice for like kids and.
What do you think about pedophiles?
Diversity.
What do you think about maps? What do you think about minor?
How do you feel about maps?
What do you think about minor attractive persons?
That's a thing. Yeah, of course it's a thing.
Of course, yeah.
But speaking in hypotheticals and just in podcast conversations, it's the first time it ever comes up. I don't.
Well, that's why you are on V N APE. This is where
You got to be based, Ron. I want you to let it. I don't want you to hold it in.
don't hold back.
Express
You can say
yourself.
as much as you
Express
want.
yourself. If you say that you want to fuck a chick with a dick,
It's
I
fine.
want.
I wouldn't.
I want to know. I want to know.
Personally, I wouldn't. I wouldn't, bro.
All right, there we go. There we go.
I would not.
You see that?
But
that
would my change of respect change just because I know
We're not
this?
talking about respect, though.
No.
we respect all type of people. We're
Yes.
just saying would you get a hand job?
I still wouldn't.
All right, so forget that. Obviously, we're just eating shit, but
Would you like let her blow air on your dick? Like just
Not even for money, bro. It would make me feel too.
how do you feel
uncomfortable.
about minor attractive persons?
Minor attractive persons are pedophiles, right?
yes.
Now let's unpack this. Minor, they are attracted to these minors, but they don't act upon it.
I mean, even if you're, I mean, the pedophile doesn't mean that you act upon it either. It just means it just means the same thing. It's just a different term.
Sure.
Okay, so
Does it though?
Yeah, pedophile doesn't mean rapist. Pedophile means that you're attracted to minors. You're a minor attracted person.
But isn't rape a thing that you're doing under somebody's you're doing it without their consent?
Yeah,
Wouldn't
rape.
that be rape?
Yeah, but pedophile means somebody that's attracted to minors. It doesn't
Yeah,
mean
but-
somebody that fucks minors.
a pedophile can be both, though.
Yeah.
Of course.
That's
Okay,
right.
I'm just okay.
Okay, so
So a pedophile is just someone who's just attracted to minors. That's it.
Yeah.
Got it.
and also you know what you mentioned earlier, but minor attractive persons.
Let me ask you in a better way. Do you feel that we should have more empathy and be more sympathetic to pedophiles? Because in this day and age, there is a community that is heavy with that message. They believe that we should be more sympathetic. We should probably like lessen time for pedophiles.
They didn't choose to be attracted to minors
because biologically it's in them. They didn't choose to do it.
It's not their fault, Ron. I mean,
do you agree there's some merit to that? Do you agree that there's like some validness to it? Like, do you?
Well, ultimately, what I would say, you know, if you're a person who's going through this type of introspection yourself, right? And you acknowledge this, I would say get therapy immediately. Why? In the circumstances that now times have changed. It's not what it used to be. Books back in the 1940s and even back then, it was normal to marry a 13-year-old girl and a person be 26 years old. That was back in the day, right?
So you agree? So you believe that we should be a little more sympathetic because it was a thing before?
In the sense that we should be sympathetic for them getting help.
I mean, sure.
If
I agree with that.
Sympathetic and them bettering themselves in any way, if they admit that they do.
Or should we castrate them?
Castrate it all. It's like it's all hypotheticals on too many circumstances.
So okay. I'll tell you guys what, we're on 7%.
Oh shit.
Oh my goodness.
We're on 7%, but I'm glad.
Listen, Ron.
I'm glad, Ron.
It was amazing.
That, you know, you told us how you feel about chicks with dicks.
Yes, we're happy.
I'm glad that Mike is non-binary. I'm glad that, you know, supposing you went to Thailand, there's a lot of lady boys. If you had the right amount of drinks, who knows, you might push it to the limit.
Even then, I would be cognizant. My body would reject it.
Never say never.
Never say never.
There's
Ron.
things you don't know.
We don't know.
That's just the discipline code within me.
This is 2023. We got to be
be progressive,
here.
Ron.
You
Come
have
on,
to.
I mean, progressive in talking about it. Yes, socializing about it, and you know.
Baby,
No.
we need action.
You need listen. There's theory and then there's praxis.
Yes.
Okay.
Speak, Ape.
We have to. You know,
Kong Shui, Feng Shui.
the woke clap.
Some Confucius in there.
All right, so we really do need to go.
We really are.
Ron, thanks for being on the pod. You can come whenever you want.
We're honored.
It's a
It's
pleasure.
V N APE. Boom, boom, boom. Suck your mother.
Peace.